Somebody please grade my autographs. What's up, guys? This is Brad. So I've got a little bit of an update on the autograph situation for magazines. So we're going to talk about a lot of acronyms today. We're going to talk about CGC, JSA, PSA, CBCS. If you are in the world of collectibles and, hobbies, then you're probably familiar with most of those acronyms. If you're not, CGC, #1 grading company for comics. JSA, probably the top autograph authenticator out there. PSA, #1 grading company for sports cards. And CBCS, #2 most popular grading company for comics. And then they work with Beckett, who is, of course, a very recognizable name in the hobby industry as well. So, a couple updates about those, like I said, in relation to autograph magazines. So, first off, we're going to start with CBCS. So, CBCS, like I mentioned, it's the #2 company when it comes to comics. I don't personally collect comics, but I made a video a couple months ago talking about CBCS, and I was actually pretty excited because I was under the impression that CBCS was going to be rolling out authentication for autographs on magazines. Actually, I was under the impression that they already had done so. So, CGC, like I said, the #1 grading company, which is where I send all my sports magazines to get graded, they, as of now, and over the long history, have not offered any sort of authentication for autographs unless the signing was actually witnessed by one of their employees, which pretty much never happened for Sports Illustrated. Okay, so because of that, because CGC was pretty much a non-factor when it comes to sports autographs, I was really excited about CBCS saying that they were going to start authenticating, Sports Illustrated magazines with autographs. And that was especially cool because, like I said, they work with Beckett. So they actually would have been sending their magazines to Beckett to authenticate the autographs. And Beckett is a highly reputable autograph authentication company. So on February 8th of this year, 2024, a friend of mine who I'm in a group chat with, he got this email from customer service at CBCS. And they said, word for word, our magazine database changes as we grow that service, so we are now grading Sports Illustrated! Exclamation point. There's some excitement here. Currently, we grade Sports Illustrated, Playboy, and other gaming or comic-related titles. Hope this helps. All right, let's go. So, like I said, I was very excited about that just because even though I don't have a lot of interest in using CBCS, this looked like it was going to finally give me an outlet to grade my magazines. So the very next day, February 9th, I submitted an order on CBCS. I sent in one magazine. It was a Sports Illustrated magazine of Jerry Rice that had been autographed, and I paid to have it sent in, and graded, and have the autograph authenticated. And you know what was also cool was I actually went into the CBCS pop reports, the census, and I saw that they already had one Sports Illustrated on there. It was a Keyshawn Johnson magazine that looked like it had been autographed as well. So why would I have any doubts at this point that CBCS is going to authenticate my autograph and grade my magazine? Because they sent a customer service email saying they're doing it. They've already got one in the census. Seems pretty obvious. Okay, so like I said, sent it in on February 9th. My Jerry Rice magazine sat there with CBS for 3 months. I'm not familiar with the wait times with CBCS, but I can't imagine it's anything compared to CGC. And CGC now is getting magazines back to us in about a month, 2 months tops. But my Jerry Rice Sports Illustrated sat with CBS for 3 months, and I finally got a call. I got a phone call from CBCS customer service a couple weeks ago. This was mid-May of 2024, and they told me that they were sorry, but they are not currently grading Sports Illustrateds. Okay. They said that they do have plans to do it eventually, but they're not there yet. So they're going to give me a refund and send back my magazine. why are they sending out customer service emails in February saying that they do it? Why is there already one in the census? I actually told the guy on the phone, I'm like, okay, that's fine, but listen, you guys already have a Sports Illustrated listed in your census, so I would recommend maybe taking that down if you're not going to be grading Sports Illustrateds because it could create some confusion. So anyway, to be honest, I was actually not upset at all that CBCS isn't grading my Sports Illustrated Jerry Rice magazine, because in the meantime, as many of you know, because I made a video about this as well, in between when I sent that on February 9th and when CBCS called me a couple weeks ago, CGC had come out and announced that they were finally going to be rolling out autograph authentication. They had actually acquired JSA in a monster move, which I was stoked about. Okay, so once that news came out, I'm like, oh, okay, CBCS, not interested in you anymore. And so you know what? That's great. Give me my Jerry Rice back. Didn't really want you to grade it anymore at this point anyway. All right, now, it was, I think it was March. I think it was March that CGC made that announcement. And they said that their service was going to be coming out soon and it was going to be rolled out in April. Okay, well, April comes and goes, and we have no word on the autograph authentication. We roll into May, is actually May 7th, and CGC puts out an announcement. Autograph authentication is now live with CGC for comics only. So that's a bummer. And not only that, but CGC had this to say. They said, combined autograph authentication and grading services for comics are the first of many planned upgrades following the acquisition of JSA. Next up, CGC and JSA will offer combined services for trading card games, sports cards, and non-sports cards, with magazines, pulps, and concert posters also in the works. Announcements will be made when more combined autograph authentication and grading services become available. So, went from thinking that we were going to have this service available in April for magazines, because that's what it sounded like, to now all of a sudden, we've got comics rolled out in May, but everything else is going to have to wait. And in fact, it kind of sounds like magazines is near the back of the line. Trading card games, sports cards, and non-sports cards are all listed before magazines, and it says with magazines, pulps, and concerts, concert posters also in the works. It's a little side thought. So I'm not feeling as confident about that one. I mean, obviously, it's going to happen at some point. It's great that they've got it rolled out with comics, but disappointed that I have to wait even longer now for the magazines. Now, this brings in the other big grading company that I mentioned earlier, and that is PSA. And let me just tell you, people, I have nothing official on this, but I am hearing more and more rumblings about PSA getting into the game of grading magazines. Like I said, I am not saying that that is 100% factual. It's a rumor, but I have now seen it hinted at and mentioned on at least 3 different occasions. Okay, by three totally different people. And it just seems to make sense. I talked about it a lot in a previous video, but PSA already grades just about everything under the sun. They're the #1 grading company out there for sports cards. They put out a monthly magazine, PSA magazine, and they've been doing really cool stuff with it that proves that they think magazines are collectible. They've been making variant covers. They've been offering buybacks. Obviously, they recognize that there's some collectability to magazines, so it makes a ton of sense. And you know, this hobby has grown a lot in the past few years. There've been some really big sales. There've been more and more people getting into it. It just makes a lot of sense that PSA would do that. So now the question is, who's gonna make it happen first? CBCS, sorry, you missed your chance. You're out of the game for me. It's now, in my opinion, it's a race. It's a race to the wire. Who's going to roll this service out first between CGC with their acquisition of JSA or PSA? Is PSA going to come out and announce that they grade magazines? And we already know that they have autograph authentication services. I think that's called DNA. There's another acronym. Is PSA going to come out and do it first, or is CGC going to get all their ducks in a row with JSA first? To be honest, when they're both, let's just assume that they're both. Let's assume that it does happen with PSA. But if they're both doing this, I'm not even sure at this very moment which one is going to come out on top, which one is going to come out as the most collectible. I'm not sure if I've got a magazine I really like, which one I'm going to send it to. I would have to wait and see what PSA's slab looks like. Probably very similar to their sports card slab and all their other slabs. But I don't even know. I mean, PSA holds so much prestige in the sports card. I mean, they dominate everybody else. And CGC has been pretty much the #1 comic person for a long time. So I don't even know. I don't even know which of those companies would emerge as the #1. But I will say, whichever one comes out first with this autograph authentication service is probably going to have a leg up for me. Because that's the biggest thing I've been waiting for a while now. Is I want to get my autographed magazines authenticated and slabbed like this cool 1997 Sporting News Peyton Manning autographed magazine. I got a bunch of them. I've been hoarding them. I've been waiting for this moment. So who's gonna make it happen first? Is it gonna be CGC? You've already done it with comics. When are the magazines coming? Or is PSA really going to do this? Is PSA really going to make it happen? It's a rumor, but I'm seeing more and more signs. I'm seeing more and more writing on the wall that I think it's legitimately going to happen. And CBCS, you're a forethought now. You're an afterthought. The boat has sailed for you. And unfortunately, even with the comics game, I kind of feel like this JSA thing from CGC was kind of the nail in the coffin for you guys. Just my opinion. So anyway, all right. That's it. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe to this channel. And I appreciate likes and comments. Until the next video, see you next time.